Yo, what's going on, YouTube, and welcome back to Goal Line Hockey. It's your boy Kevin Forte, and guys, we have to take a look at the Minnesota Wild. Man, the Minnesota Wild, it's been rough as a Minnesota Wild fan recently. I know my fans are out there. You guys, it's been rough. You know, the thing is, they started off the season so good, and everything was going perfect for the Minnesota Wild, and then everything was capped off to start 2022, unfortunately, at the Winter Classic. But this team was in a rut through the month of December, going into January. Is this the spark of electricity that this team desperately needed? They brought up Marco Rossi and Matthew Boldy, former first-round picks of the Minnesota Wild here over the past couple of seasons. We're going to see these guys in action, kind of on a bad basis, but listen, when your time is needed, you got to be there. You look at some of their key injuries they've had here. At the end of the year, upper body injury at the end of 2021 for Joel Eriksson Ek. He's listed as out to start this year. He's been out. Jared Spurgeon, a lower body injury. He was placed on the injured reserve. Ouch, that one hurts on the blue line. And then on January 3rd, lower body injury to goaltender Cam Talbot, listed as out for their game this week. And then Jordan Greenway is out with health protocols. Greenway is in the NHL's health and safety protocol. He's not the only one, though. There's a couple of names out there, and that's what ultimately led to the kind of emergency call-up of both Matthew Boldy and Marco Rossi. So you got Spurgeon, who was on the injured reserve, Eriksson Ek, Bukestad, Talbot, and Brandt.
I couldn't hear what you said.
There you go.
Sorry, could you say that again?
Thank you, Apple Watch. That's what you get for having the Apple Watch on. And Brandon Duhaime. So a couple of guys are out. That's pretty tough. And to make things even worse, I thought this was pretty interesting. You look at their situation on their forward group. They're so depleted up front, and it's so hard to call guys up. So you look at their second line. Their second line center is Marco Rossi, the 9th overall pick, right, a couple years ago. Now their third line is super interesting. So you've got Freddie Gaudreau, Matthew Boldy in his first NHL game, and Calen Addison. Calen Addison is a defenseman playing forward, so I thought that was interesting. Not really what I was expecting, but that is where they need him right now. And we've seen teams do that before. Brent Burns with the Sharks had played forward. It's not the craziest thing we've ever seen, but I thought it was worth mentioning. I was looking, I said, that's interesting. He's a defenseman. He's playing forward. But this was a big debut for these two players. That's really what we have to go over today. So we set the stage, right? We have a bunch of guys out injured. You have a defenseman playing forward. What is going on? But then it gets better, right? So now they have a game up in Boston. They're playing the Boston Bruins on the road. And this is a team that has struggled. Like I said, it's been a rough stretch here for the Minnesota Wild. They go to Boston, and things really didn't start off well. They gave up a goal. They came back, made it 2-1 at the end of the first. And then Matthew Boldy, where he played college hockey, mind you, right? He picks up his first NHL goal. And that right there kind of encapsulates everything you need to know. He played at Boston College, and it was cool. He got to score in Boston his first NHL goal, for that matter. Really exciting. Now, to get even deeper into it, you look at the team's stats and how much they played and stuff. No giveaways for either of Marco Rossi or Matthew Boldy. That's a good thing. Matthew Boldy played just over. It's kind of weird. Very unlucky numbers here. He played exactly 13 minutes and 13 seconds. His first game in the NHL. Not the luckiest, but can't complain, right? He got the game-winning goal in this game. Marco Rossi, he won a couple of faceoffs. He didn't do well in the faceoff circle, though. He was only 33% in the faceoff dot, so something he could probably work on a little bit. But he played a lot. He played over 16 minutes of ice time in his first NHL game. Again, that's a top 6 center right there. That's what his responsibility was today. And I don't know if he necessarily looked ready for it. Not a lot of physicality from either of them today either. Marco Rossi laid 1 hit. Matthew Boldy, no hits. So they were just very conservative. And that's what you expect from NHL players in their first couple games in the league. At the end of the day, this is how it works. It's you score all the good goals and great, but you make one mistake. You could score a hat trick. You make one bad turnover or mistake that was bad, you get set down. And that's kind of how it works. And we've seen this plenty of times, right, with different players. But yeah, I wanted to give some light to these guys. Not a really long video here, but Marco Rossi and Matthew Boldy have both played their first games in the NHL. It was a rough season last year for Marco Rossi. He dealt with major issues with COVID. Someone that really got affected hard. He actually stayed home in Austria. He was so sick. It was really bad news there for Marco Rossi, but it's good to see him back in the NHL, back in North America, and finally really getting to his, the point that he has been working for since before he was drafted, and that was playing in the NHL. So it's really nice to see him get on that path, as well as Matthew Boldy. I'm not taking away credit from him. Both these guys have come from very difficult paths, and Matthew Boldy got off the schneid pretty early, a period and a half into his first, real time in the NHL. He's able to get his first NHL goal. So that is it for today's video. If you guys like what we're doing here at Goal Line Hockey, want to see the latest news around the NHL, more videos just like this one, you guys know what to do. Make sure to give this video a big thumbs up, and an even bigger subscribe down below. Guys, as always, thank you so much, and I will see you next time.